Hello, it is Dr. Chris Raquel. I hope you all are doing amazingly. I wanted to stop in today. First, if you like my content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Down below, if you like my content and you have to ask a question, please send me an email to askkrystalracquel@gmail.com. I wanted to touch in with you all. It's about a particular topic. It's related to women who attempt to raise a man, or basically that means if there is a man who is not doing so well in life, a lady may be doing really well in life, and what she does is she tries to pull the man up from where he is, and that becomes her man. There's someone I know, she does really well for herself. She makes a decent living. What she has done is she's found a guy, she's with him, he kind of bounce from job to job, and what she has done now, she has let us know that he is her project. And what we mean by that, or what we assume she means by that, is she finds him attractive. So because he's not where she would expect him to be, and she knows other ladies may not be interested in a man who is not able to provide or do what we would typically expect a man to be able to do, an ideal man, she's going to take him and she's going to pull him up. She's going to help him become a better man and help him find good work. So what I would suggest, ladies, please don't ever be in that situation. You are worth more than that. You do not have to find a man and try to bring him up to your level. And yes, there are levels in life. So if for whatever reason a man may not be doing well for himself, that is okay. Everyone goes through things, but that is not somebody you're supposed to be dating. It's just not. If someone's not in a position where they can help as a man, provide as a man, then that is not somebody you should be moving forward with and dating. That person is just not for you. A lot of times, ladies, they really want a man. They might have low self-esteem and just accept whatever comes their way. But some of it has to do with women being desperate. So do not be desperate in dating. I've mentioned this before. You really have to look and say, hey, is this somebody that can provide for me? Don't think to yourself, okay, I have this, I'm doing well for myself, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go and settle with this person. The person is not a worker, they don't like working, they are constantly in and out of trouble, or if not in and out of trouble, what you know about them is that they consistently move in with their girlfriends to have a place to stay. If that is the case, you really just have to really think about what it is that you want out of life, because that is really just not it. God does not want you to be living down and out. If you're not in that position, don't put yourself in that position by trying to find someone, try to pull them up off the street, try to find someone you think they're handsome or you think they look okay, and you really just want a man in your life, so then you just move forward with that person. No, that is not what God has for you. So really, really think about what it is that you are doing, and why do you feel like you should be out here helping men? And I'm not talking about in a marriage. I mean, why do you think that the man that you find, or that the man that finds you, is going to be somebody who needs help? That is not a good situation to put yourself in. When you find a man, you want to make sure that he is able to care for himself. Ideally, I speak from the Christian perspective, so ideally he would have been living on his own, not living in a roommate situation, as in not living in a situation where he has to stay in someone's home, stay in a friend's house because he couldn't afford his own place. Not in a situation where he just got out of a relationship, or he's in a relationship with someone and he's living with them, so then he moves in with you. It's like a change of place. So he was with her, now he's with you. You don't want somebody in that state. You want someone who's able to provide their own home for themselves, someone who can pay their own bills and support themselves. Because if that is the case, if that person cannot provide for themselves, they're certainly not going to be providing for you, and your role is not a provider. Ladies, I think we have to make smart decisions. We're looking for a man who is a provider, and a provider does not mean a man who needs help. And people might say, well, then why is it that way? Why is it seems like the woman wants help? I'm not going to get into that right now, but what I am going to say is think about what the word provider means. Provider, a woman is not a provider. And I've talked about this before. I'm not saying women should not work or that they cannot work, that they can't have the option to work. What I'm saying is, ladies, you're not looking, we are the helpmate. We're the helpmate, but make sure you're looking to help someone who can already help themselves, right? So ideally, like a helpmate, that's usually in a situation where there's like a family, and yes, our role is the helpmate. However, you should not be trying to find a man who is not able to help himself, because ladies, we have to be smart. You're looking for a man who's going to be able to help you and take care of a family, right? He's going to be able to provide for a family. You don't want to come into a situation where something happens and something happens to your income, and then now a man you guys are all down and out. You're getting kicked out of your apartment because your income was necessary for the place to flow. You don't want to be in that situation. You don't want to be in a situation where now you are locked in for however many years, and you just got married to him, and now everything is falling apart because something happened to your job. You really don't ever want to be in that situation. So make sure you're looking for someone who first of all is able to support themselves. That's very important, and we see it so many places where we see a man is not doing so well, and then a young lady is, and he seems to always have a woman. He seems to always have somebody who lets him in. Ladies, we have really sweet, caring hearts, but there's a point where you have to use wisdom. Always think to yourself, is this somebody that I would want to raise my children? Or why would I want to be in a position where when there's kids in the future, I have the kids, I'm doing everything for the children, I'm raising them, I'm with them, I'm bathing them, I'm cooking dinner, I'm packing school lunches, and then he works sometimes he doesn't, and then it's like this sort of situation. So ladies, just really be careful. You don't want to ever be in that type of situation. You really want to make sure that you are looking for someone who's going to be able to provide, and provision means caring for you. And yes, and provision does include money. So, and there are times when things may not go well, maybe in a marriage. The husband may lose his job, or he won't be able to work for whatever reason, and he's tried to find work, and then there's an emergency, and maybe you were staying at home, and then now you rush and you find a job. But I'm talking about beforehand. If a man is not showing that he's even willing to take you out on a date, what makes you think he's going to sacrifice and provide for his family? What makes you think that? That's what I always say. That's why I think it's so important. Like when I mentioned, no coffee dates and things like that. That's because that's showing whether or not he can sacrifice. People will be like, oh, well, it's so dumb. First of all, ladies, look at the type of cars that a lot of men buy, right? They'll sacrifice for those things, right? They'll sacrifice and buy them their choice car. But now it's like, oh no, coffee date here, let's go for a hike. So remember, watch those things, right? If you see a man has a nice car, he's sacrificed for that. The man is saying that he eventually wants a wife, so you should be able to sacrifice for that wife, right? To prove that you are going to take care of her and a family. So anytime, like, you have to look for selfishness, right? So if a man is saying, please, coffee date for that, she needs a coffee date, I'm not wasting my money on her, or yeah, we're dating now, we've been dating for 4 or 5 months, and we can just come over, she can just come over to my home, I can cook for her, she can cook for me, she can make my favorite dish. Okay, so he's not able to sacrifice anything for you, and you're not his wife. So that kind of shows you, okay, so what's gonna happen when you have kids? Is it going to be a struggle and a fight for everything? Is he going to be stingy and cheap, or demand that you buy like the most inexpensive everything, even if it's not quality? Be really careful of those things. That's why, ladies, do not get tricked into thinking that, oh, I'm doing something wrong if I don't want to go on a coffee because that's not my money, it's his money. No. those things are going to show you whether the future of what can come, right? It's going to show you, is the person selfish? Are they only going to do something that benefits them? And like, ladies, don't really listen if you're hearing people say like, well, you know, why would I pay for a grown woman as a grown person? We don't really have to worry about ourselves as women, because we're not really selfish normally. Just the way we're created, we're usually giving. So don't try to think that because you're naturally giving, that now it doesn't matter if the man does spicy coffee, he's probably going to be giving later on. No, that's not the case. And I'm not going to focus so much on the coffee because I've already spoken about that before. But my point is, make sure you're looking for someone who is not selfish, someone who you're not picking up, who's down and out, because that's not what you should be looking for as a husband. You know, like I said, things can happen in a marriage later on, but why would you be getting hooked up with someone who can't even take care of themselves? They can't even show you the decency to take you out for a traditional date. So I'm just urging you, ladies, be wise and make sure you are on the lookout for these types of signs. Make sure that you're not being tricked by a man who doesn't have much to offer. Then he comes to you professing love, and now you're all trapped, and then you realize later on that it just wasn't, it was not a good option for you to do. All right, so I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think, if you agree with what I'm talking about, or, you know, if you have an opposing view. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.